And it really was. It was, music was in the soul up there, and it still is. And
for years, Crystal Gayle was known for her beautiful voice and floor-length hair. She was well loved by fans and had a very successful career. To the world, she seemed happy. People believed she had a perfect life. She was always smiling and always working with joy. Everything looked fine from the outside, but deep down, Crystal Gayle faced a tragedy so deep that only a few can truly understand. Stay tuned as we reveal the truth about the artist you thought you knew. Who is Crystal Gayle? Crystal Gayle is an American country music singer. Her birth name is Brenda Gayle Webb. She was born on January 9th in the year 1951. She became best known for her 1977 hit song, "Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue." She is also widely recognized for her floor-length hair. She is the younger sister of country music singer Loretta Lynn. At the start of her career, she was signed to the same record label and worked with the same management team as her sister. Her early music followed a traditional country sound. These first recordings didn't garner much attention or success, but she didn't give up and continued trying. With her sister's advice, she made a career change. She signed a new contract and began recording with a Nashville producer named Alan Reynolds. The shift helped her move away from the older country sound. Her music became a blend of country and pop, often referred to as middle-of-the-road or country pop. Her first major success came in the year 1975 with a song titled "Wrong Road Again." It was her first real breakthrough and helped her move forward in the industry. In the year 1977, she released "Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue." The single reached #1 on the Billboard Country chart. It also crossed over to the Billboard Hot 100, where it landed in the top 5. The song became a global hit and brought her international recognition. She continued to succeed throughout the late 1970s and the entire decade that followed. Major songs from this period include "Ready for the Times to Get Better" in the year 1977, "Talking in Your Sleep" in 1978, and "Half the Way" in 1979. In the year 1982, she released a duet with Eddie Rabbitt titled "You and I." It became another major hit and was played widely. She became one of the most successful crossover artists of her time. Her music appealed to both country and pop audiences. She toured across the country and around the world. Her long hair became an integral part of her public image and remains widely associated with her career. In the 1990s, she shifted her music style. She recorded several albums in new genres. One of them was an inspirational album titled "Someday," released in the year 1995. Another was a collection of standards called "Sings the Heart and Soul of Hoagy Carmichael," released in 1999. Both albums demonstrated her interest in exploring various genres of music beyond country pop. During this time, she also ran her own business. She opened and managed a fine arts store called Crystal's Fine Gifts and Jewelry. She remained active in music, performing live and making public appearances. Her most recent studio album was released in 2019. She continued to tour and perform for audiences across the United States and in other countries. Throughout her career, she has received many awards. She won one Grammy Award and has been nominated for several others since the 1970s. She received 5 Academy of Country Music Awards, including the Cliffy Stone Pioneer Award in 2016. She also received 2 Country Music Association Awards and 3 American Music Awards. She was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In the year 2017, she became a member of the Grand Ole Opry, which is one of the highest honors in country music. Many organizations have recognized her contributions to music. Rolling Stone included her in its list of the 100 greatest country artists of all time. CMT placed her on its list of the 40 greatest women in country music. She began her career in the music industry during the 1960s. There have been reports that she sang backup vocals in her sister's band, although she has said this is not true. Her first record deal came in 1970 when she signed with Decca Records. In the early years, her songs had only minor success. With the help of producer Alan Reynolds and a change in direction, she developed her musical style. This move led to greater attention and stronger chart performance. She became part of a trend in which country singers incorporated pop elements to reach a wider audience. She made regular appearances on television shows and in concerts. She remained visible in the entertainment world while continuing to record and perform. Her soft voice, unique look, and ability to shift between styles helped her stand out from other artists during her time. Her work has lasted across decades. She continued to record music, explore new genres, and tour regularly. Her songs remained popular among fans of both country and pop music. Her achievements go beyond just chart success. She helped shape the sound of modern country pop. Her ability to blend genres helped influence later artists who sought to transcend musical styles. She has stayed active in the public eye through interviews, special performances, and television features. She is still known for her long hair and soft voice. These traits have remained part of her brand and public image since the 1970s. She has worked with many other well-known musicians throughout her career. Her collaborations and solo work have both received praise. Her albums have sold well and continue to be streamed and played on the radio. Her legacy includes not only hit songs, but also contributions to the development of crossover country music. She has been honored by both country and mainstream music groups for her role in shaping the sound of her time. She continues to reside in the United States and remains actively involved in the music industry. She has not retired from touring and continues to perform from time to time. Her presence in the industry remains strong even after more than 5 decades. Her voice, image, and style continue to be remembered by music fans around the world. She is regarded as one of the most influential country singers of her era. She reached both country and pop listeners, helping to change how mainstream audiences perceived country music. Her story is often included in documentaries and features about women in music and the growth of country pop. She is still seen as a key figure in the shift of country music during the 1970s and 80s. Her albums, interviews, and public appearances remain part of music history. Her name appears in country music halls of fame, magazine rankings, and award records. Behind all the success, something was quietly building that later changed everything: love life, family, and lifestyle. Crystal Gayle's personal life remained more private than her public career. In the early 1970s, while she was still building her name in the music industry, she married Bill Gatzimos. The two began their life together in the year 1971. Their relationship remained steady, even as her career progressed and the demands around her increased. Bill Gatzimos was not only her husband, he later became a key part of her career, taking on the role of her manager. He helped manage the business side of her music, allowing her to focus on singing and touring. Their partnership lasted through many years of change in the music industry. They worked as a team, both in their family life and in her professional journey. The couple went on to have 2 children. While she was well known in the public eye, she chose to keep her family life out of the spotlight. She gave interviews when needed and made public appearances, but rarely spoke about personal matters. Her focus in the media mainly stayed on her music. Away from the stage, she maintained a calm and structured life. Her schedule was full, yet she managed to find time for her husband and children. The family supported each other quietly, without drawing much public attention. Many people close to her have said she kept a small, close circle and did not like drama. Her marriage lasted through years of touring, travel, and career changes. That kind of stability was rare in the entertainment industry, especially during a time when her career was rapidly rising. She and Bill Gatzimos remained married for decades, even as many of their peers went through divorces and public conflicts. They went on to have 2 children. They had their first child, a daughter, Catherine Claire Gatzimos, in 1983, and 3 years later, in 1983, they welcomed their son, Christos James Gatzimos, 1986. She also stayed close to her siblings. Though her sister Loretta Lynn was a major country music star before her, there was no known public tension between them. Loretta helped her early in her career, giving advice and opening doors. Their bond as sisters remained strong over the years. Both pursued their paths in music, and each found success in different styles. She worked with many people in the industry over the years. Producers, band members, studio technicians, and tour managers often spoke about her calm and professional attitude. She was not known for being flashy or loud. She was seen as easy to work with, focused, and respectful. Her image was clean and consistent, which made her a popular choice for television shows and family-friendly events. Her fans also noticed her steady approach. Her shows were well organized. Her voice stayed strong. Her interviews remained polite and clear. She did not create controversy. That helped her stay in the public eye for many years, even after country music styles began to shift. During the late 1990s and early 2000s, she continued to stay active. She performed at various music festivals, special events, and charity concerts. She also made guest appearances on television and participated in music documentaries. Her face and voice became familiar not only to older fans, but also to new audiences discovering her music for the first time. She supported community events, educational causes, and music scholarship programs. Schools in her home state received instrument donations. Music camps held workshops featuring her songs and style lessons drawn from her vocal approach. Her involvement remained low profile, done quietly rather than in press releases. Her children grew up around the world through tours and recording sessions. They learned stage etiquette by watching filming and photographers from an early age. Family life stayed private but present, woven into her work rhythm. She did occasional studio work outside of album projects. She recorded demos for other artists or helped write backing vocals. Fellow musicians valued her technical skill and experience even when she was not the lead artist. Her insight was sought during collaboration on family-friendly television specials featuring songs from her genre era. In solo interviews, she described moments when she would play her music records for friends at home. She spoke about favorite versions of covers she made early in the 1970s. Those stories showcased a musician still refining their taste and technique long after achieving chart success. Peer artists noted her consistent attendance at songwriting workshops in Nashville. She interacted with rising songwriters, offering respectful encouragement. She never demanded recognition. Those relationships led to songs sometimes included as promotional tracks on late 20th century charity albums or compilation discs. Press accounts occasionally referenced her quiet sense of humor. During award show rehearsals, she joked softly about long stage skirts, social distancing and costume changes, and backstage food preferences. Those small moments gave her circle a glimpse of her personality, not found in her public stage persona. Crystal Gayle never lived a loud or flashy life. Her lifestyle was calm, steady, and centered on the things that mattered most to her: music, family, and peace. Unlike many stars of her time, she did not chase headlines or build her name through controversy. She preferred a slower pace. That choice helped her stay grounded even during the busiest years of her career. Crystal is reported to be health conscious. She did not party or drink heavily. She took care of her voice and her body. That meant getting enough rest, eating well, and avoiding anything that might harm her performance. She avoided fast food and often prepared her own meals. She is said to like simple dishes: grilled chicken, vegetables, fresh fruit. She enjoyed cooking for her family when she was not on the road. Her fashion sense was just as simple. Most people remember her for her floor-length hair and elegant dresses, but she was just as comfortable in jeans and a sweater when off stage. She did not need a lot of makeup or accessories. Her natural style came through without effort. She paid attention to how she looked, but not in a way that seemed forced. Her long hair became her signature. It was more about personal comfort than public image. She also liked being around creative people. At home or on tour, she surrounded herself with musicians, writers, and artists who inspired her. She did not need big crowds or loud environments. A small group and a guitar were all she needed. She spent time writing, rehearsing, and reflecting. She valued peace and privacy. When she had free time, she enjoyed hobbies that kept her calm. She liked crafts, shopping at small antique stores, decorating. She kept her home warm and welcoming, with items that reminded her of her roots. She never lost that connection to where she came from. Kentucky was still in her heart, even if she lived far away. Family came first, always. She made time for her children, no matter how busy her schedule was. She did not want them growing up in the shadow of fame. She wanted them to have a normal life, even while traveling with her from time to time. She kept their routines in place: school, hobbies, quiet moments, just like any other mother would. Crystal Gayle lived carefully. She avoided chaos and stayed focused. Her lifestyle was simple, steady, and shaped by love and family. She lived a life away from the spotlight. That was the world she built. For a long time, it worked. But that peaceful life she built did not last forever. The tragedy. It all started on the 4th of October, 2022, when Crystal lost her sister, Loretta Lynn. It was not just a family member she lost. Loretta was her first inspiration, her first supporter, and someone who had stood beside her through every stage of life. Loretta had been a part of her story from the beginning. They shared memories no one else could understand. Their childhood and upbringing were the same. They connected deeply, even though there is a 19-year age gap between them. Even though their music took different turns, they were always tied together. Loretta was more than just a singer to Crystal. She was the person who believed in her before anyone else did. She was the one who encouraged her to find her own voice and make her own path. When Loretta passed away, something in Crystal changed. Those close to her said she had become different. Sources said she became really quiet for a while. She kept working, but something inside her had shifted. Her lifestyle after that became even more private than it had been before. She stayed out of the spotlight more often. Her shows continued, but she did fewer interviews. She talked less about her music and more about her memories with her sister. She would mention her sister often during performances, sometimes pausing longer than usual when speaking about her. Fans noticed, so did her team. The grief also made her reflect on the past more often. She spoke about her childhood more. She started mentioning her mother and father in interviews. She shared old stories about growing up in a large family. She was pulling strength from those early years. Maybe that was how she coped. Those around her said she began spending more time with her family. She would call more often and check on old friends. She seemed to realize how short the time really was. It brought her closer to the people she cared about. Her children noticed it. So did the people who had known her for many years. She did not release as much new music after her sister's passing. Some wondered if she had lost interest. Others believed she was simply in a new phase of life. She had already done so much in her career. She had nothing left to prove. The loss reminded her that music was not everything. Family was. Still, she did not stop completely. She still performed and continued to meet fans. She just did it at her own pace. She no longer tried to be everywhere. She picked what mattered most and focused on that. Some of the changes were personal as well. She became more spiritual. She talked more about faith, not in a loud or public way, but in simple comments that revealed what she was holding on to. She spoke about gratitude, about grace, about the importance of kindness. It was clear that the loss of her sister had made her think deeply about life, not just her career. Her fashion also changed. She stayed elegant, but simpler. She no longer dressed for the crowd. She dressed for herself. It reflected her new way of thinking. She still kept her long hair. That was something she never let go of. It remained part of her identity. Fans said her concerts felt different as well. There were more intense moments and connections. She shared stories more openly and let people in. Her shows and songs felt like conversations, like time spent with someone who had been through a lot and had nothing to hide anymore. Quietly, Loretta's death had brought out a different side of Crystal Gayle, one that had always been there, but was now more visible. She was no longer just a performer. She was a woman who had faced real loss and was choosing to keep going, even with a heavy heart. Those who loved her saw the strength in that, the grace in how she carried her grief. She did not break down in public. She did not share too much. She simply kept walking forward, step by step, and holding on to memories. Living life one day at a time, she often ended her shows by saying thank you in a soft tone. Sometimes she mentioned Loretta's name. Sometimes she didn't. Either way, the love was always there. As the years passed, Crystal Gayle continued to honor her sister in her own unique way, not through tributes or big gestures, but through the life she chose to live. One filled with meaning, peace, and love. That, in many ways, became her real legacy. The music she sang after Loretta's passing was no longer just for charts or applause, but to honor the person who she felt had impacted her life and career the most. Now, let's take a closer look at the kind of legacy Crystal is leaving behind and what she chose to hold on to when everything else changed. Life after the tragedy. Crystal Gayle's life today is calm, but it took strength to get here. After facing deep personal loss, she chose not to break, but instead stepped back from the spotlight, surrounded herself with family, and focused on healing. Slowly, she returned to music on her own terms, and her family also stood by her throughout the hard times, most especially her husband. She has been married to her husband, Bill Gatsamos, since the early 1970s. Their relationship is strong and lasting. Unlike many public couples, they never placed their marriage in the spotlight. He worked behind the scenes for years, managing her career with steady care. They faced hard times like any couple, but they stayed together through it all. Their bond was not built on fame. It was built on trust. Bill is still by her side today. He no longer manages every part of her work, but he remains deeply involved. He is her support system. Their marriage is not one filled with noise. It is steady and strong, a quiet partnership that helped her survive the more difficult seasons of life. In her later years, Crystal has spoken more about the peace she finds in simple routines with Bill, whether it is long drives, cooking at home together, or spending quality time with their family. Their son and daughter both lived parts of their early lives in the shadow of their mother's fame. Crystal once said that raising children while touring was never easy. She would try to bring them along when possible. When that did not work, she made sure to keep in close contact. She never wanted her career to come at the cost of her role as a mother. Now that her children are grown, Crystal takes joy in watching them find their paths. They live more private lives than she ever did. Still, she lights up when she talks about them. She also has grandchildren now. She is no longer just a singer or a mother. She is a grandmother, as well as an aunt and great-aunt to her sister Loretta's children and grandchildren. Her face softens when she talks about them. In her interviews, there is a certain smile she reserves for speaking about them. These days, her role in their lives is clear. She is there to support them and lead them. She is present at birthdays, school events, and quiet dinners. She tells stories from the past. She passes on songs that are not on any album. These are lullabies and old tunes she once heard from her mother and sister. Through this, Crystal stays connected to her roots. As for her work, she never really stopped. She still sings. She still records, but the pace is slower now. In recent years, she has released a studio album featuring both original songs and classics. It was not meant to top charts, but to remind people of who she is. That album, which took several years to finish, was something she worked on quietly with her family. She also continues to tour, but only when she chooses. She picks shows carefully. These are not long tours. They are short appearances. She performs for crowds that still love her. These fans know every word to her songs. Some of them grew up with her music. Others discovered her later and connected to the softness in her voice. To many, she is more than a singer. She is a piece of their memories. Even now, Crystal makes time for interviews and appearances, She never acts like a star. She is polite, calm, and honest. When asked about her life, she is careful with her words. She talks about gratitude and about the people who helped her. She rarely speaks about regrets. There is no major spotlight on her now. That suits her just fine. She prefers smaller gatherings and values peace above all else. She once opened a fine gift shop in Nashville. Though the store is no longer open, it reflected her personality. It was warm, personal, and full of small treasures. That shop gave her a different way to connect with people outside of music. Crystal also supports various charities. She attends fundraising events, sings at special functions, and lends her voice to causes she is passionate about. These include health awareness, children's programs, and local community efforts. She does this work quietly. She is not trying to impress anyone. She simply wants to help. In her own home, she listens to music that helps her relax. Sometimes it is jazz. At other times, it is an old country. She still plays the piano. She still writes lyrics, though many never become songs. Her home is filled with memories. Photos of her sister Loretta are everywhere. So are family pictures. There are awards and gold records, but they do not take center stage. They sit quietly, like the rest of her past. Crystal Gayle is no longer chasing what she used to. She is not trying to become anyone new. She is holding on to the parts of life that feel real. Her family, her home, and her peace. Her music still matters to her, but in a different way. It is now a way to stay connected, not to remain famous. Her path to happiness did not come quickly. It came slowly, after years of change, loss, reflection, and growth. She has chosen to age without fear. She speaks about time as a gift. Not many artists from her era are still active. Fewer still are as loved, and she knows that and does not take it for granted. For Crystal, her healing journey is progressive because she has managed to find happiness in the little things life has to offer and come to peace with the fact that she gave her best, both on stage and at home. Her journey continues, even now. She remains grateful and content with the life she has lived. The long hair, the gentle voice, and the strength remain. But behind all of that is something deeper. A woman who lived, lost, and learned to smile again after a great loss. Crystal Gayle's journey has been long, marked by highs and lows that have shaped her into the person she is today. She was once the young girl with big dreams, then the star with floor-length hair and chart-topping songs. Life later tested her in ways many never saw. Through grief, change, and career, she stayed true to herself. Her voice, once heard across the world, still holds power, though not as much as it once did, but it remains relevant. Today, she enjoys a life built on family, faith, and joy. Her story is not just about fame, but about strength and survival. She may not stand in the spotlight as often as before, but her light still shines. Her music remains one of the best, and her legacy continues. Even the love around her has grown even stronger. Crystal Gayle is a testament to the fact that even after a tragedy, there is always a way to find peace and a reason to keep moving forward. What do you think of Crystal Gayle's path toward healing? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Before you go, please watch the other videos on your screen.